Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Weeks of Welcome. This session, Amanda Hildebrand is joining us. We are going to be taking a pretty deep dive into the new member connection platform called Connection Plus. It was launched just in August, which seems like an eternity ago, but it was actually just a month ago. So I hope you've had an opportunity to get in there, play around with it a little bit, get familiar with your new community sites. So if you recall, they used to be microsites. So they've switched over to these really nice community sites now with additional functionality and really user-friendly. So we're really happy with how they've turned out. So Amanda's here with us today. She's we're really happy that she's been able to join us to not only walk us through the new site holistically to tell you the changes that were made, but also walk you through the community sites, your community sites, to tell you how you can utilize them, do a little bit of high-level training for you, show you how you can do some of the stuff on those community sites step by step, talk you through some of the best practices, really do a little bit of training for you. And just a reminder, these sessions are recorded, so you can refer back to them. They'll be available for you, if not this week, next week, so you can go back to these and share them with the rest of your section. So I'm going to turn this over to Amanda. If you have specific questions relative to your section, I will be here in the background, so you can ask them. You can ask them in the chat. I can answer them for you, or you can save them to the end, and I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. But I'm going to turn this over to Amanda, and she's going to go ahead and start the presentation. Amanda?
Thanks, Nicole. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here, like Nicole said, and walk you through the new Connection Plus. So I do have some slides. Let me share my screen. And let's get this going. Okay, Nicole or Brett, can you just give me a verbal that you can see my slides?
Yeah, Amanda, you're good. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. So sorry, 1 second. I'm actually going to stop my camera because there's no need. Okay, sorry, one more time, Nicole. So the slides look okay. I just reshared.
No, you're good.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this is the new SAE Connection Plus. I'm Amanda Hildebrand, SAE's membership manager, and I just want to take you through what we're going to be talking about today. This is our agenda. What is Connection Plus? Some of the enhancements that we've made, the section communities that Nicole mentioned, and then I'm going to give you a tour, and the tour will include how to use your section community. And then we'll leave some time for questions. So just to kind of take a step back and level set a little bit, historically, we have always kind of looked at members and volunteers as two separate entities. And what I mean by that is, one of the examples of how we separated these things was SAE Member Connection. So that was our online community for SAE members. That was a member benefit. It was a way for members to interact with other members around the globe, build their network, have technical discussions. And we launched that platform back in 2015. And then separately, we had SAE Propel. And that was an online platform that aggregated all of the SAE volunteer opportunities into one place. And members and volunteers could access that to see all of the opportunities. And that launched in about 2017. And then very recently, we are looking at a new philosophy when it comes to membership and volunteerism. We're really looking at this idea of membership and community engagement, because it is about how you're engaging with SAE holistically. We don't need to sort of separate out whether you're a member or whether you're a volunteer. So when we started down this path of this new philosophy, we had to ask ourselves the question, how do we create a space and especially an experience for membership and community engagement? And one of the very tangible ways that we thought we could express this was by uniting Propel and Member Connection into one engagement hub. So this could really be a one-stop shop experience for members and for volunteers. So some of our goals were obviously a redesign. So, we wanted to take the existing platforms and really improve the user experience. We added new features, new functionality. What's really cool is this new personalized dashboard, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment, and a much more modern design. And then through that, we realized we also needed to do kind of a rebrand. When we were saying we were going to combine these two platforms, we needed also a new name since it was going to be a one-stop shop place. And that is where we came up with Connexion Plus. So some of the enhancements include, like I was saying earlier, this new modern look and feel, the improved navigation. The personalization is what is really exciting. Basically, once you're logged in, the site recognizes you as a student member or a professional member, a non-member, either a volunteer or a non-volunteer, and it's going to serve you up an experience that is specific to you. It's going to recommend different things to you. So one of the things it will recommend are some suggested contacts because it's going to know what your interests are based on your profile information, where you're located. It's also going to prompt you to join your local section community. So these online communities for sections, these are new. As Nicole said, they used to be called microsites, but they're new and improved. And I'll talk about that in a moment. But essentially, let's say, Bob Smith logs into Connexion Plus for the first time and didn't even realize what a section was. It's going to prompt them to say, hey, you're part of the Detroit section. You should join this virtual community. It'll get you into that section community. And now, Bob knows, that this exists, and the section officers and other members of that community can get in touch with Bob now, and you can sort of bring him along that journey. So it's also going to prompt you to look at some volunteer opportunities, again, based on your interests. Another really nice feature that we were able to incorporate is your member expiration date. So if you are a member, it's going to know when your membership is up, and it's going to prompt you right from the dashboard. So that's really convenient that you can go there and renew. Also, the dashboard is going to have the latest news and announcements that are going on with either your membership or volunteerism or different activities and events you can participate in. And then speaking of events, we have a new integrated event list. So it's going to show you section events, SAE events like WCX or, the hybrid symposium that's coming up. And then actually we do develop events specific to Connexion Plus. They're called Chat with the Expert. And there's mentor topics, there's leadership topics, technical topics. So it's actually going to give you a list of everything by month all in one place. So I kind of talked about this a little bit, but so, very specifically, how are you going to use Connexion Plus? How are you as a member or a volunteer going to use it? Or how are you as someone that's a part of a section perhaps going to use this as one of your talking points to get someone to join or to get a current member more involved? So this is a list of the things you can do. The first one is learn about your current and new member benefits. This is a great place to go, one-stop shop again, to check in and see what is the latest with your member benefits. You can actually access some of your benefits through Connexion Plus. So if you didn't know, we have a really great benefit called the Career Counselor video series. Right now we have about 12 episodes, and they're all soft skill training for our members. It's a member benefit. And it's really nice, like bite-sized chunks of learning. So they're about 15 to 20 minutes long. And they are around, some of the topics are goal management, time management, how to conquer the fear of a public presentation. So these are really great videos to refer to if you're trying to build up some of your soft skills. We also have our mentor program. This is brand new and newly enhanced. It is an online program that you can enroll in and, again, add in your different interests, technology-wise or leadership-wise, and you will be matched with a mentee. So again, a really great place to know that this is how you access the mentor program. As I mentioned earlier, we do have expert chats, and this is where you'll participate in Connection Plus with these chats. There's different tech topics, leadership topics, mentoring, and more. We also have a member directory on Connection Plus, so you can expand your network. You can look up different members. You can get in touch with them. The next thing here is, again, looking for those volunteer opportunities that are available to you. You can access, as I mentioned before, that event list. And then there are actually 3 specific communities in Connection Plus. These have not changed since when it was Member Connection, but we have the open forum that is for technical discussions. The member benefits community is where we put announcements related to your benefits. And then the student community is, as the name says, specific to students, because we really wanted to carve out a place for them to have peer-to-peer discussions. You'll also notice I have some asterisks on this slide. So some aspects of Connection Plus are still members only. It's a member benefit. For non-members and for volunteers that are non-members, you can still access the list of volunteer opportunities. You can still create a volunteer profile to serve you up the volunteer opportunities that are available to you. And you can still see this event list. The other important thing to note that I'll go into in the next slide is, for sections specifically, we do have the section communities open to the public, so that you could use the online community here as a way to showcase some of your events to the public, to non-members, perhaps as a recruitment tool. So actually, since I'm saying that, specifically around the section communities, every section has one. This is a virtual space for enhancing your existing web presence. And what I mean by that is, maybe you have a website, you can still use this virtual community and really think of it as this warm audience. I mean, there's already members and volunteers interacting in the larger Connection Plus space. So why not leverage this web presence in addition to your website? And obviously, too, this space provides an opportunity for discussion. If you don't have a website, then this can function as a website. There's a really nice homepage look. It explains, what this space is. It would be really great for, again, recruitment purposes. The other nice thing is that you actually have the ability to see your current section members within this community, which is a really cool, almost like directory kind of situation in that way too. You can post your upcoming events. You can post volunteer opportunities related to your section. Again, you can create discussion posts. And then you can also house documents in this space as well. There is a library that you can upload documents and resources. So before I jump into the little tour, I did want to let you know about some upcoming events in Connection Plus. Again, these are the little activities that the membership team develops just to have in Connection Plus. So this week is actually our student days. We do this for our student members. It's all week long. And we actually had, I'm sorry, this slide is a little outdated. Yesterday we had a diversity chat at 1:00. So that's a little bit of a mistake there. My apologies. We had a diversity chat but then today, yesterday and today. So again, that's a little bit of a mistake there. I'm sorry. We do have an online chat still going with Rebecca Volman, who was the SAE member that was doing the diversity chat. We also have this week a photo and video contest, so our students can get in there and post videos or photos of their team or their chapters. And we're giving away some prizes. So this Student Days is kind of a way for us to encourage the students to get into the student community and participate in Connection Plus. The mentor chat is something that's coming up on September 26th and 27th. That's open to any SAE members. And our SAE president, Shri, is actually going to be leading this chat. And it's on the importance of mentoring. So you can get in there and have an online chat with Shri over those 2 days. we're having a new SAE book release chat with some authors of SAE books. That's going to be in October. The dates are still TBD, but again, if you pay attention to the event list in Connection Plus, you will be able to know exactly when that chat with the authors is happening. We have another mentor chat coming up in November, and that's going to be on work-life integration. And then in December, we're lucky enough to have Cheryl Thompson, who is the founder and CEO of CADIA, the Center for Automotive Diversity, Inclusion, and Advancement. She's going to be doing an online chat with us in Connection Plus on December 7th and 8th. So definitely stay tuned for that. Okay, well, let's take a tour. Let me get my... let me share my screen with you. And Nicole, can you just give me another verbal that you can see Connection Plus?
Yes, we can still see it.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So this is the homepage of Connection Plus. I'm actually logged in. So anything you see here, some things might be a little different because I'm a super admin. So I can see things that you wouldn't be able to see when you're logged in as yourself. But across the top, you'll see that a lot of this maintains some continuity from Member Connection because we wanted people to still be able to know what these things were and where to go. But essentially, this is a list of the communities. So this is where you would access your section community. I can show you that in a moment. But this is where the member benefits community is, the open forum, and the student community. This is that event list that I was telling you about, where if you click here, it will take you to a fully integrated list of events. If you want to know more about our Chat with the Expert series, you can go there. These are specific student community activities. And then we do have some upcoming membership information sessions. I would highly recommend that as a section, you could promote this to some folks because we're actually going to be doing a live WebEx and going through member benefits. So this might be something of interest to you. Volunteering. So we have a way to view the entire list of volunteer opportunities, or you could opt into what is called the SAE Volunteer Pool. And that's a way that you can set up a profile, set up your preferences, and then it's actually going to send you alerts based on your preferences. This is where you'll access the mentor program. This is where you'll access the career counselor episodes. Also, we have linked out the career center. If you didn't know, that's available to you. We do have resume clinics from time to time. And then we do try to recognize award winners. So this is also listed under this dropdown. And then this is the member directory. And like I was saying, it's really an easy tool to find anyone, or you could search by interest. So that's a really nice tool as well. I'm going to show you how this dashboard is personalized. Yesterday when I did this, okay, good. It took a long time yesterday when I was doing this for a different group to get to this, but I'm glad it worked much quicker today. So this is what you'll see when you first log in. Again, mine looks a little different because I'm a super admin, so I'm seeing some things more behind the scenes, but essentially it's going to serve you up some things that you can do. So you can introduce yourself. You could become a member if you're not a member, or become a volunteer. Here's where your membership expiration date is going to show. This is going to show you the number of threads you're involved in, how many contacts you have. Again, since this is kind of just like a dummy type information, it says that my member type is student, but this will show you what member type you are. It also allows you to get into some information below, like the volunteer opportunities that are newer. It shows me right now that my volunteer status is that I'm not opted in. So you're able to go to your profile settings and opt into the pool. It gives you more information about the latest with the mentor program, some of our popular discussions. This is another nice way to view what's going on, the latest activity, discussions, events, and volunteer opportunities. Here are some popular topics. Here is that suggested contacts widget. So right now, because of, me being logged in as myself, it's showing a lot of folks that work at SAE. Look, there's Nicole. And then it's going to give you some information at the bottom just on some latest maybe benefits, or just a little banner ad that we can change out based on anything we want to highlight. So Oh, and here are some featured announcements. So this is something else that we're able to change and give you so that it's the latest and greatest. Let me jump into a section community. I'm just going to go to the first one that comes up, which is Alberta. You can see that there is a list of all of the different communities, but I'm just going to jump into the Alberta one to give you a little tour of that. Essentially what we're looking at here, so Alberta and all the other section communities have this same, welcome to this online community, utilize this space to network virtually. This is kind of something we would recommend that you keep, that you don't change this. However, if you would be interested in maybe tweaking some of this language, we would be happy for you to do that so that it makes sense for your section. And I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But across the top, we also have discussions, we have your library, your events, your members, and then engagement would be your volunteer opportunities. So this is all very specific to your section. You're also able to change these buttons. Again, we set these up because we thought this would make the most sense, but if there is something you want to change, I'll show you how to do that in a moment. If you scroll down, this is where you would see the list of your discussion posts and where you could add a discussion post. This is your announcements. You can add an announcement here. Upcoming events, you can add an event here and it will display. And then you can create a library entry and it will display here. And I'll go into that more in a moment. I'm just giving you kind of a quick view of the landscape here. And then you are able to see your current members, and it will actually highlight who the community admins are. So that is a nice feature as well. Okay. And I'm sure there might be questions, and I will take those at the end, but I just kind of want to move through some of this before taking questions. So if we wanted to update anything in this upper section here, you have a settings button. And what you would do is actually go to settings again. And okay, great. It cooperated. This is where you can change any of this language. So let me see here. I'm sorry. Let me go back one second. Okay, so that was misinformation just now. So this is actually where you would go to change that part of it. So let me show you that again. So you get a sections, additional HTML content, not the settings. That settings was more, that's probably something you don't want to touch. That's kind of more back-end stuff with how this is set up. So you will go to additional HTML content. This is where you would change some of this text. Again, would recommend that you don't change this text at the top. But you could change this language here. And then these 4 things are the buttons that you saw to the right. So you would simply go in, and this is not, I know it says HTML content here, but you are actually able to just type right in here. And then you would simply press save. And that's how you would update this content and these items over here. I want to show you a couple of other things that are in this settings tool. So members, that is where you would see what members are a part of your section, as I showed you below. Reports, there are a ton of different reports. Let me click on it and just show you. So you could view reports about all discussions, answered discussions, community member emails, those community members that joined and left, the current members, who's contributing. So there are a ton of things in here, pending invitation. So, this is something that is available to you if you wanted to review some of these reports. I'm not going to dive into every single report right now, but obviously if you would have a question about any of them, myself or Nicole are available to answer those in any kind of ongoing manner. Email community members, if you click on that, this is how you would email your members, literally. So you can change the subject line. Your email template here is something that you would just type into. I do want to mention that Nicole is going to be sending out, or has already sent out, some of her communications to you guys where she does have an HTML template. So you actually can copy and paste that in here and everything will look much nicer. If you don't want to use HTML, that's perfectly fine as well. It just will be more text and it won't really be formatted as nicely. So I know Nicole is sending out some information to you about that. You can also add an attachment, and then once you have everything in there that you want, you can preview the email before sending it, or you can simply send it. So that is a really nice feature as a way to get in touch with the members of your section. Moderation. So your community isn't moderated. What that would mean is if there was something that, someone said that you wanted to put into moderation, but that functionality is not turned on. This is where you would manage your events. So if you click on this, you can add an event. So you would simply put the title, you would choose the event type. So the event type that you would want to choose is a section meeting, no reg. So that is what you would choose. You would leave your community Alberta because that's the community. Display an events list. You would leave that there because it would display until the end date and then hide it. There is a description you can put in. You can put in a link. What time does the event start? What time does it end? The time zone. How will people attend the event? So obviously if it's online or a conference call or a physical address, and then contact information. So you would simply save this and then it would show up on your homepage. It would show up down here in upcoming events. This is also a space. So some of the things we're doing in the settings, you can also do down here. You can easily just add an event. It's the same thing straight from this page. Okay. I wanted to also mention this event payment providers. So eventually we will be able to have you guys use this event manager to collect payments, say from PayPal or other types of providers. Nicole is actively working on that with our finance department. So stay tuned for more information about that. So volunteer opportunities. So you can add volunteer opportunities here. Nicole did request that if you want to do so, that you actually get in touch with her first before creating an opportunity, because she would like to provide further training on it and or just help you post it. So definitely let her know if that's something that you want to do. And then this polls widget isn't working right now. That's something we're looking into. But basically what you could do is, have a poll and ask your community members questions and to vote on some things. So that is essentially all of these elements in the settings area. If you scroll down again, you can add an event here. You can add a peer resource here. You can also do all those things up here as well. So if you click on discussion, it will take you to the latest discussions. You could post a new message, which is the same thing as adding a discussion on the previous page. The previous page, your home page, I guess you could call it, also had an opportunity for you to add a library entry. So you could create it here as well, create entry, events. Again, it takes you to the same add event functionality, members, it's showing you your members. So these are all just different ways that, you can access. I'm going to go back to the community home. These are all just different ways to make it easier to access all of these, all of the functionality for using your community site. That is really everything that I wanted to show you in terms of, this, like giving you a little tour of the space. Nicole, is there anything else that you wanted to add or that I might have missed?
Sorry, it takes a minute to get this camera on and unmuted. No, there's nothing from my end. I appreciate you giving that tour and that training for our officers. I will open it up to questions, and I know I owe you guys the HTML directions, which we actually talked about that in the last training, whatever you want to call it. Also, so does anybody have questions for Amanda about the site, the overall philosophy, how to utilize your communities, or anything of the like?
Amanda, there was one question. So Lucas had a couple of comments, said some really nice things about the site. He did have a question about why the choice to keep the microsites.
Let me see. I'm looking at comments now. With the creation of why are we keeping the microsite, section officers still only listed on the section officers are still only listed on the microsite. So, this is something, and Nicole, you can also, give feedback on this, but essentially we kept the microsites, or now we're calling them communities, because there are some sections that don't have websites, and so we wanted to provide this as an opportunity for them to have a website. You by no means have to use this community. Like, if it doesn't make sense for your particular section, don't feel like you have to maintain both areas. But I personally would recommend that you consider using it occasionally, but because I think it would be a great reach for you. Like I was saying earlier, it's a warm audience. There are already members engaged in there, so it could help you, especially perhaps the events tool. But Nicole, any other thoughts? I mean, again, it's an added benefit. It wasn't something that was meant to be that you have to use it if it doesn't, make sense for your section.
So I apologize. I can't see the comments and questions. So is it? Oh, thank you guys. So with the Connection Plus, why are we keeping the microsites? Because section officers are still only listed on the microsite. More places to have to maintain. So so microsites, I guess I'm assuming you mean the communities. So the transition to the communities was something that we did look at, and we made the decision. We looked at it, we weighed the benefits, and we decided that it was beneficial to continue with those as opposed to sunsetting them. And we did that purposefully. When all of our members are in Connection, they're in the Connection Plus platform. So what we're offering section officers is the opportunity to connect with their local community through that platform. If you are in there and you're utilizing that platform to its ability, you are able to use that site to easily connect with your members through discussion posts, through event posting, and you are able to connect them with things that are happening right through headquarters. Yes, it's another place to maintain. That is a true statement. But the idea and what I'm hoping to do is kind of spoon feed you what's happening here at HQ, so that what's happening here at HQ, and then you are easily able to disseminate that through your websites. So the idea of having, if we pull everything full circle, the idea of having that marketing toolkit, if you now know that there's a mentor chat happening next week. I know there's not one. Is it next week, Amanda? I don't know when it's happening.
Next week, the 26th.
There, I'm losing. I don't know. I'm losing track. No, that's like in 2 weeks.
It's in 2 weeks.
The mentoring chat's happening in 2 weeks. That's happening 2 weeks because it's in the marketing toolkit. You put that on your connection site. Now you're connecting with people very easily because it's going out automatically to the people at the local level, and you're now making a footprint easily. It's just the thought there is if we're able to get you the information easily, you're able to disseminate the information easily. It's not meant to be a burden. Hopefully if we're able to get you the information easily, you're able to communicate that information easily. If that's not happening, then something's broken. So it starts with us, and then hopefully it rolls down and everything. And I've been saying that since I've tried to pick up the pieces for you, that my job is to begin to ease the burden for you guys, not make your jobs harder. And I know that's going to take some time, but that's what we're here to do. If that makes sense to you all.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Nicole. And if as always, provide us with feedback. I mean, if we're, like Nicole said, if we're finding that it's not beneficial to you, or there's other ways that we could tweak it to make it easier, then that's great. I mean, we want to continually make improvements to these types of things.
And Lucas, to your point, if like you're saying, if people aren't viewing it and it's not beneficial, we know, you guys know, and we can pivot, we can make changes. Same for us. Mm-hmm. So if things aren't working, we can make changes. And I think there was a communication I put out at some point that said, we're going to try stuff for a while, and if feedback determines that what we're doing isn't working, we'll change it. That's what we want to do. We want to do what works best for you guys. We're not going to pretend to have all the right answers, but we want to try things. We'll try things differently. We will experiment. And if you tell us something isn't working, that's why I put out the survey in, what was it, March or April, to get a baseline to see what we were doing what we were doing, where everybody was at. That's why we did that. And if that's why we're instituting these new things, that's why we're trying these new things. Let's see what's going to work, and let's see what doesn't work. And then we'll change it for next year if we need to. So that goes with this kind of thing too. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah. And, Lucas, I would say too, and I think, Nicole, you just said this, but in my mind, let's give it a year. Let's give it a year, like a full section year, to see how this is going. Let sections get in there and try it, see what the advantages are, and then we'll reassess. I mean, we want to, like Nicole said, we want to try some new things, throw things against the wall, see what sticks, see what works. But it made more sense to transition from microsites to communities than to just get rid of them, because there are some sections that do use them. So this is great feedback. I'm glad that you're bringing these things up. So thank you. Is there anything else? I'm not seeing, I don't think I'm seeing any other comments in here. Oh, thanks, Lucas, for the thumbs up. Well, we said earlier this is going to be recorded. So, this will be available. This is not the last training. I mean, Nicole, you have souls coming up for section officers, right? So
that's great. Thank you for the segue there. And just reminder, we do have souls coming up in December, where we'll do additional training on everything that we've talked about so far and more. So I'll send out some additional communication on that. So just don't forget, keep that on your radar. It's in December. So we'll have that going on to you guys.
Perfect. And yeah, you know what? I would then say I will challenge you guys to look at your sites before souls, so you can get in there, use them, see, what works for you, what doesn't. So then when we come together in December at souls, then, you'll have some working knowledge of the site. So that is my challenge.
Right.
All
Thank
right.
you, Amanda.
Yes. Thanks, Nicole. Thanks everybody that joined us, and get in touch if you have any questions in the meantime.